Hi, beautiful people. My name is Just, and this is Just Talk. I know it's been a long time. It's been some years, but I am back in effect. God laid something on my heart for me to tell his people. He said, go and tell my people. So I'm going to read some scriptures from the Bible. So the way I connect to God is directly to God. I have an intimate relationship with God. God gives me knowledge, and sometimes he'll direct me to the Bible so I can have the interpretation of what he is trying to say, or it is trying to say, because God has shown me that he is all and everything. He's man, he's woman, he's animals. His actual face is all the animals that you can think of. He has light and darkness. But we'll get into that. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So he directed me to Genesis and some other chapters. So I'm going to break it down so that I can help you understand where I'm going with everything. All right. So I'm going to go to Genesis chapter 1. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. All right. And then in Genesis chapter 1, verse 6 through 7, it says, then God said, let there be a space between the waters to separate the waters of the heavens from the earth, from the waters of the earth. And that is what happened. God made this space to separate the waters of the earth from the waters of the heavens. God called the space sky. And evening passed and morning came, making the second day. All right, so then we're going to go to Matthew's 6 through 10. All right. And then it says, may your kingdom come soon. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. All right. And this, I'm reading from the New Living Translation. So God helped me to understand that. So basically, to understand God is to understand the beginning. God showed me how we're going to say he, but I know God is a it, but a lot of us are familiar with calling God he. So if that makes you feel comfortable, you can call him he. God is all and everything. So he would not be away from what a part of God is, but that's not all of what God is. God is not a gender. God is just all. It's just an it, if that makes sense to you. It's everything. The heavens, the earth, the trees, the birds, the seas, the flies, the dogs, the cats, the everything. Okay. So when God was created, God showed me that he was created from nothing. And you say, how is somebody created from nothing? Being able to comprehend the word nothing, to spell the word nothing, to define the word nothing. When you go within yourself and comprehend, when I say nothing, you know what nothing is, which makes it something. To be able to comprehend, and it's very complex, and I don't want to get too deep because I don't want to confuse the complexity of God, but I'm going to try to simplify it as best that I can express it to everyone. So being able to identify something, to make it tangible in your mind or comprehension, it makes it something, right? It makes it exist. So God was created from nothing, and nothing is something. And when God was created from nothing, which made him it something, or he, if that's what you want to say, something, he was created as light. But in order to be light, there has to be an opposite of light, which is dark. You know, like some of us say good and evil, or dark and light, the devil and God. It's all the same thing. It's different terminologies that people use, but it's the same thing. Okay. So God showed me that it is, I'm going to just say he on his channel, just so we can start there from the beginning, because I don't want to confuse anybody. I'm just going to say he. Okay. To understand God is to understand that God is dark and light, evil and good, bad and good. When God was created, there had to be dark. It has to be the opposite of everything. Like there's a woman, there's a man, and there's a cat, and there's a dog. You know, it's opposite of. It's just the way it had to be so. That was to bring existence into pass. So to exist, there had to be an opposite of something. Okay, so understanding that everything has an opposite of something is to understand the existence of it, to be so, to comprehend it, to be existing on this earth and in heaven. Okay, all right, so if you can understand that part, you'll understand where I'm going with this. So a lot of people say, well, they don't want to believe in God because what kind of God would allow people to be murdered or to die, to suffer, for children to be molested and women to be raped and beaten and all those things? To understand God could not help that when he came to existence, that there had to be an opposite. But understanding who God is, to understand that he is both. And when God speaks of that he lets all things work into the glory of his good, and understanding that when it talks in the Bible, and I'm not going to go look for it, but you can look for it, that the enemy, as we say, dark, light, dark and dark and good, evil, bad, all those terminology, I'm going to talk about the dark side, the evil part, the dark side, the devil. Understanding that when they say the devil has to get permission from God. All right, y'all got to stay with me because this thing about to get deep. It's about to get deep. Understanding that we are in the image of God, which also is in the word, that you are an image of God. That means that you are light and you are dark. That means you are good and evil, right? Understanding that how the dark side works for God's good and how it's all God, I'm about to break that down. So when it talks about in the Bible that we were born into sin, when it speaks of born into sin, people, we are already in hell. We are already in hell. When being born into sin, which is in the earth, this is hell. We're thinking that we have to go to a different place. We have to die first and see where we're going to go. You're already in here. You were born into sin. So Yeshua, which some of you guys know as Jesus, came to earth so that we can understand the knowledge of the evil, the sin, which is in the earth, which is what we were born into. He came to free us, to give us the light, to shine the light on the darkness, which is evil, the devil, that we know it as. And I'm just going to say dark. And when I say dark, you guys understand that I'm talking about what some people use as in the terminology of evil and the devil. So I'm going to just say dark for my terminology. Okay. So Yeshua, Jesus, came to shine the light onto the darkness, to shine and show you that there is darkness, but you can come into the light and free yourself from the suffering and the sins and the traumas and the I don't want to curse, but the mind fuckery. I'm working on my cursing, but guys, okay with my profane language, because cursing is like cursing someone, like to cause harm, not causing harm, but to the fuckery of the darkness. Okay, so you say, well, I don't understand. What do you mean by, the fuckery of the darkness? So we were born into sin. So we were born into the earth, and in the earth is darkness. It's the traumas that we've been through. It's the anguish. It's the when your mind is doing all this in your head, all the bad thoughts. You do this cycle of constant, like a wheel turning. It's just like you keep thinking of the same thing over and over again, and all of it is dark. It seems like you just cannot get off of the hamster wheel with thinking about it. It could be one thought. It could be like, the enemy, darkness, may say you a bad person. Let's just use that as an example. You may think of that one thought and it just keeps going in your head like this. I'm a bad person. I'm a bad person. I'm a bad person. You are manifesting that inside of yourself to make you believe that that's who you are, because the enemy, darkness, uses your traumas to make you think that. So you believe, so you are, right? But that's not who you are. People who have murdered people, who have molested children and all of that stuff, the enemy, darkness, works like this. It'll take your traumas and all the things that you have been through, because you couldn't get away from it. I'm sorry, you could not get away from what you were going to go through and experience in this earth as what we would call hell, because it is, literally. You couldn't get away from it because you were born into sin. You were born into sin, the darkness, because Adam and Eve was put on the earth until what they quote unquote broke, ate the fruit, right? They had an awareness of God's knowledge. That awareness was to bring the darkness into light, meaning, oh, we're naked, we're this, we're that, and then they, had sex and all this, and it was pleasurable, all these different things, because darkness had to exist. So how darkness works is whatever trauma you've been through, whether it was from childhood, teenager, adult, the devil amplifies that. The devil uses that to cause you to, first of all, think that's who you are, test you, will tell you, let's use like someone who beats a woman. Let's just use that as an example of how darkness works. The devil will tell you that she ain't no good. She doing this out there. She out here messing with your friends, and he'll make an illusion to make you feel like it's true. He will, let's say you and your person, or you in a relationship, abusive relationship. He'll take that person, say the woman, you and your man go to a party, and he done already told you that she was a HOE and she doing all of this stuff behind your back. He will make it look like your woman sitting over there all by herself, because now you already use your darkness to control her, because she got traumas that she haven't even dealt with. She feel self-worthless. She feel insecure. She feel all these things. She looking for love, thinking that beating her is love, because she already feels like she's not worth it. Then she's trying to find love, but she thinks that this is love because she's never experienced what love is. The dark side of that man and her will work hand in hand to make illusions, like make you delusional, make you think you saw something that you didn't see, heard something that you didn't hear. One of her friends could come up to, one of his friends could come up to her and say, hey, they got some juice over there. Would you like a cup of juice? And this man might not be thinking about nothing, trying to get with this woman or nothing. That could be his friend, and it was harmless. But because that woman said, oh, she might say no thank you, and smile, he over there looking at her and thinking, because the enemy, the darkness, telling him, oh, look at her over there. See, I told you she wasn't nothing but a HOE. She over there flirting. Look at her smiling. Look at her. And look at the guy laugh. Yeah, he just told her something in her ear to let her know that he'll, take her from you. It could be anything. He makes it amplify. He make it look like that, because you already, he working out your traumas, your insecurities. You're one to be powerful over a woman, to be make a woman submit to you, when God says submit to me. You don't submit to man, you submit to God. Let's get that straight. Whether you're a man or woman, you submit to God. Okay? And this thing is so deep. I'm just trying to get it in. It's like a ball of light just trying to express itself through me with my words. So now when you get home, you beating on the woman. And you say, I knew you was a HOE. Yeah, I saw you over there flirting with my man. Now you and this dude and your friend from a long time who just was trying to offer your girlfriend some juice or something. From the goodness of, his heart, you thinking that she this HOE, she this, she that. You basically then projected all of your traumas onto this woman. You allowed the enemy to use you to cause harm to this person because you haven't dealt with your traumas. And it's not her fault, and it's not her fault that she allowing you to do that because of her own insecurity, because someone didn't love her, someone didn't tell her that she was beautiful, someone didn't tell her what love is and how to experience love, because the true love is God. True love is God. It's not in a person, it is within you. We have to stop looking outside of ourselves in the physical and go within our spirit and let God show you what love is. Okay? God is love. God uses the dark side to show you and amplify those traumas so that you can be aware of them, that they exist. And then when you go to God, and that's when you give your life to God and you surrender to God and you say, Lord, is there more to life than this? Is there more, Lord, to what the word says? What is love? Who am I? Show me, Lord. When you go to God and you surrender your all and you let God's will be done in your life, not your will. See, we like to take on our will and think that we can do it, and we mess it up every time, and then we get hurt and traumatized even more because we're trying to take a hold of that thing and think that we know better. We don't. God is the creator of you and me and all that is. So your source, which is God, you got to go to the source and find out who you are and what's going on and ask God for direction. And what God is going to do is God is going to awaken you, because most of us are asleep. I was asleep. I didn't understand all this. I went to different churches. I've been, trying to find God in everything, right? Listening to the word. Then I found that going to church, and I was like, oh, looking up to the pastor because he was a man of God and he was giving the word, thinking that, I could be saved through this man that's delivering the word, when really and truly the answer was always in God, because man is imperfected. Man has traumas that they haven't dealt with, and God will shine that to you about that person. Pastors have called me, and I'm gonna say a pastor, not pastors with an S. A pastor has called me with a wife that was pregnant, and it's been years ago when I was a teenager and I gave my life to God. And at the time I was married to a man, my son's father, and he would call me and say, I understand, because I told him I liked girls at the time. And he would call me and say, I'm gonna just be real. I'm gonna keep it authentic, because I'm not one of those people that is gonna be holy than thou kind of person. I'm just not. I'm human and I'm learning just like everyone else. And God is using me to give you this word. So he would say, we can masturbate together. And that hurt me so bad, because I just didn't understand that a man of God, why would he do that? Why would he say that to me? I'm already in trauma from being raped and molested as a child and all the things that I had been through. Why would he tell me that? And so I went to the church that I was in. I told them, because I had already been persecuted for liking women. And when I went to the church, they told me, oh, he a man. He a man. Just like that was okay. And it looked like every time I went to a church, it was one thing after another. I was in a non-denominational church at one point, and I loved to sing in a choir. And, before I was in the choir, I was messing with this girl that happened to go to the church. And so she went and told the deaconess that what happened between me and her. And they told me I couldn't sing in the choir. And they told me that I wasn't a woman of God and I was an abomination of God because of it. And at the time, I literally stopped messing with women, because I was like, if I'm gonna go to hell, for liking girls, and I don't want to do this, and I'm going to live for God. And I had stopped, just turned from what they were telling me. It hurt me so bad. I understand it all now. I understand it all. First of all, sisters and brothers, if you are out there judging people, it is not right. And not only that it's not right, it is the dark side. It's what you've been taught. And you do have to break those chains of judging people. In the Bible, it says, ye not judge lest ye be judged. Meaning, if you're judging, then judge yourself, and God's going to judge you. Because what happens with judgment is that when you go and try to judge people, expose what they have told you in secret, or just by looking at them, then be ready to be exposed and be judged. Be ready to be exposed and be judged, because only God is the judge. If you're not out here seeing your brothers and sisters, as an example, let's just say Deborah got 20 men coming up in her house, and you the neighbor, but you're supposed to be walking in God, right? You're supposed to be a Christian, going to church, and you say you holy, and you a woman of God, but then you calling everybody on the phone talking about Deborah, talking about she a hoe, and she got all these men running up in her house, and da-da-da-da. If you worrying about what somebody else is doing and not focusing on yourself and looking at the fact that you were born into sin, and what is your skeletons, what your skeletons look like, what your secrets look like, and you worrying about judging others, then you are allowing the enemy to use you, and you are not walking with God. You are not, because God said to not judge. You have no right to judge another man for anything that they have done, no matter what it is, whether you know what they've done or not. You need to mind your own business. God said, keep your mind and your eyes on me, and I will keep you in perfect peace. That means mind your own business. Focus on me so I can heal you, so you can know who I created you to be on this earth, and walk in your power, so that you can help your other brothers and sisters to wake up from the sleepiness that they're in, because the enemy will put you to sleep. If you don't know this knowledge right now, that means that you are sleeping. If you're talking about people, judging people, then you still sleep. Period. And in the Bible, it says that God is not religious. God is not religious. So we're walking in this earth based off of religion. God is spiritual. He is a spirit. Just like you have a spirit and soul, God is a spirit. And when you learn to connect with God, you'll understand this. And let's get deeper than that. Let's talk about idols. We think that in the Bible, where it says, and I'm going to go to, let's see here. Let me open up. So I'm going to go to Isaiah 26 chapter verse 4. Trust in the Lord always, for the Lord God is the eternal rock. He's the eternal rock. That means he's everything. He's the foundation, right? And then it says chapter 3, Isaiah chapter 3 verse 5. So put to death the sinful earthly things lurking within you. Put to death the sinful earthly things lurking, darkness, evil, devil, within you. Have nothing to do with sexual immorality, impurity, lust, and evil desires. Don't be greedy, for a greedy person is an idolizer. I think I'm saying that right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but basically they're talking about idolizing. Worshiping the things of this world. Let's get deep into that. I learned that even if you're in a relationship with someone or you have kids, if you put your relationship, your family, your children over God, you are idolizing them. And that is a sin. That is a sin. That is a part of the enemy's deception. Because most of us don't even know that. If you are focused on living your life for your children, living your life for your husband, your wife, family, or whatever, that is idolizing. That's a sin, which is keeping you in darkness to not understand that the only person that you're supposed to idolize is God. That is the only person that you're supposed to idolize. Period, point blank. Okay? If you are trapped in darkness and you've been praying for your family, your friends, your husband, your wife, leave it there. That's what you're supposed to do. Pray for them. But you're not supposed to allow your life to stay stuck in that and think that you're going to get out of it because you just focus on, oh, my child, oh, my family, oh, my husband. When God tells you to walk away from a situation, you walk away from a situation. Because what is happening is that person's dark side, whether it be your child, your family, your husband, your wife, or whomever, their darkness, their traumas, whatever they got going on within their soul and spirit inside them from their traumas, the enemy is using them to pull on your heartstrings. Because that's how the enemy gets you. Pulls on your heartstrings and keeps you there, keeps you in suffering, keeps you in grief, keeps you in sadness, keep you in depression, keep you wanting to kill yourself, commit suicide, keeps you right there so you won't see the light, which God say, I'm the light, the way, and the truth, right? And what the darkness is, which is what we call the devil again, came to kill, steal, and destroy. In darkness is manipulation. It's murder, stealing, lying, rape, all of those negative things. That is what darkness brings. In light, there is love, purity, understanding, truth, trusting, knowing who you are, direction, guidance, protection. It is all of those things. So if you are focused on someone that you love and you won't let that thing go, because God did say let go and let God. Let go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And let God. You can't carry that thing by yourself. You can't make that thing right. Okay? You can't make your husband, your child, or whomever it is do what you want. And even if somebody has went on to pass over into the other side, just know the best thing that you can do is pray for them. And pray that if they have to be rebirthed back into the earth, which is hell, to do that thing over again, you doing what you're supposed to do can help your bloodline to break some of them curses. So maybe they'll have a better chance if they couldn't get it right. Put my glasses back on, child. So they'll have a better chance to get it right. Some of us are sent here to break generational curses that our ancestors didn't have the knowledge of because they wasn't awakened. You may be one of those chosen ones to do that. Everyone has a calling. Everyone. Look at that gloss. I'm sorry. Everyone has a calling on their life for something. In order for you to find out why you were created, because you was not created just to be here. You were created for something. Okay? In order for you to find it out, you have to go with God. And you say, well, how do I start? You say to God, Lord, is this it? Please show me you. Show me who you are. Show me why I was created. Lord, I believe in you. I believe that you sent your son, which is the same spirit in you, to earth to die so that I can have the opportunity to awaken and see the truth, which is you, the light, and not live my life in darkness. I believe that your son died on the cross exactly for this, for my sins, so that I can be free and set free from being asleep and underneath the enemy's hands. Lord God, I ask you to not let my will be done, but Lord God, your will be done in my life. And I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy. It's not. When you give your life to God, the enemy is going to attack you more. Why? Because the enemy wants to keep you asleep. And there, when I say awaken, I used to think what they talk about, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. I'm like, what does that mean? Until I experienced it. An awakening is an actual experience where you see things different and clearer. For me, I experienced love coming from the earth, like God all around me. The things that I took for granted, like just basically looking at the roses bloom or how beautiful they was, listening to the birds chirp, or noticing a butterfly, pass in front of my face, or looking at little signs from my family that's in heaven, or some people that did not make it. And when I say making in heaven, that means that their spirit is in peace. So as below, so as above. That means that what we're doing here is also in heaven. So we're living in the earth, which is hell, sin and causing harm to other people's lives and manipulating and killing and molesting. We are in hell because we start in hell. We start when we came to earth. Understand, I'm gonna go back to this because I want you to understand it. When we came to earth and they say you were born into sin, you were born into hell. You're in hell. You're spiritually, you're in hell. But in order for you to understand that and to get out of that thing, you have to understand that you're already starting in hell. You're trying to wait until you die or to see if you figured it out or you made it, or, when the judgment day comes, the judgment is already here. The judgment is already here. Many are called, but few are chosen. The road to the promised land is narrow. Brothers and sisters, I want you to hear me. You're already in hell, baby. In order to get out of that thing, you have to go to God. And there will be things that you will see that is beyond your experience, beyond the things that you would think that you see with your physical eyes, but God will bring you into the spirit to show you what's really going on. And this is what the enemy does not want you to know. You'll walk and you'll look at a person and you'll see their eyes black. And then you'll look again and then it'll go back to just regular eyes. That was God trying to show you who is operating in darkness. And that means that they haven't healed their traumas. Their traumas have consumed them and they're living in darkness. Whether they choose to stay in darkness or they're just unaware or unawakened to it, I'm here to shed the light. I'm here to shed the light on it. They either got consumed by their traumas and believed what the enemy said, and they are just living in pure darkness. So God is trying to show you, I don't want you to be afraid when you walk this walk, because God will be there with you. That's why you have to have faith and believe in God and trust in the Lord, because God will protect you. And understand that it's all God. So God knows what God is doing, why he's showing you that, showing the dark part of you or the dark part of people, of him, or say God's self, because again, we are in the image of God. For me, I lived in darkness. For me, I, as a child, believed that, kindness existed. Everybody had good in them. And no matter all the things I went through, people feel like I've been through nothing because I can still smile and be kind to people. I truly understand now it all. But God held my innocence inside of me because of that fact. And that I just believed that people had good in them. And when I was a child, I wanted to be a superhero. I wanted to save all of the good people. But I realized that God is the Savior. And I'm just like his, his sidekick. I'm his sidekick. What you say, Lord? You want me to use my powers? Somebody need help, let me fly down. Like, literally. Let me tell them. So this is me as God's sidekick flying down to your soul to tell you this is my way of being his sidekick to save you. You have to go to God. Idolizing anything is a sin, and that's one of the things that people don't really comprehend. They're thinking that they're doing right. They're thinking that, I'm good. No, you're not. If you're idolizing a pastor, you looking up to a pastor for guidance. I'm not saying that there are not pastors that are leading people in the right direction, but you shouldn't idolize them. You shouldn't be idolizing Beyonce and all those people. They are supposed to be, people are supposed to be that are walking with God, that is God's children, a source of support. A source of, looking for some tissue. I'm sorry, y'all. I have sinus. Looking for a support. They're supposed to be someone that helps uplift you on your journey. Their purpose is supposed to help make your soul feel better and make you remember when the bad times were and how God came and delivered you and how God has brought you so far. They're not for you to idolize and stalk and all of that. That is of the enemy. That is the darkness. If they didn't come to bring you the way, the truth, and the light, then you're not walking in the light. You're still in darkness. Let go and let God. Stop idolizing your children. Stop treating your children like they're your husband or your wife. They're children. Let them be children. Direct them with God. When you learn, tell them the goodness that God is. Show them that whatever they're going through, that God will help them see the truth. Tell them that you're sorry for whatever you did to cause their traumas because you did not know. That's why God said they know not what they do. They know not what they do. Because people are in darkness. They don't know. They think they know, they don't. But because the enemy is constantly manipulating their mind to do those things, using their traumas to gain power. That's how the enemy works. You give him power when you allow your traumas to hurt other people and to do wrong to people. That's how you give the darkness that's within all of us the power. The more you deny that darkness and choose light, God will shine the light onto your darkness to show you where it came from. It could have been that you didn't get attention as a child and no one loved you. And God will shine that light on your darkness to show you how the enemy kept telling you no one would love you. And every time you turn to somebody else will treat you wrong or, use you because you were kind. And then you gave up and didn't want to be kind anymore because you didn't believe that it could be better than what you had. And you allow people to mistreat you and cause more trauma and just basically make you fall more into darkness. That's how the enemy works. He pushes you back to sleep. And let me tell you, when you take this journey, and I pray, sisters and brothers, that you take the journey with self, with God, to learn self. Focus on you. Don't focus on anybody else. If you focus on everything else or how I can get this money up. See, the thing is that we always doing things backwards. We go and try to get the money when everything is in God. And abundance is not money. Abundance is your soul. Abundance is the knowledge that God is going to give you. Abundance is your healing. Abundance is showing you your traumas. Abundance is elevating your mind, giving you the knowledge so that you can help somebody else, helping you understand, overstand how the world works, so you can be in that number when the saints go marching in. That is abundance. Abundance is when you don't have a job, you don't have no money, and you don't know how you're going to get it. And you say, I have faith in God. And guess what? God has somebody knock on your door and leave a whole bunch of groceries at your door. You don't understand, how you got it. But you know it's from the Lord because you prayed. Abundance is learning how to be patient in the Lord and understanding his timing. Some of us want things now, but God be working on something so much greater. Example, let's just say you don't have no food, right? And you walking with the Lord, you hungry, right? You say, Lord, I thought you said you was going to feed me. And he already told you he was going to feed you. He told you everything that you need is in me, right? So he's going to use patience for you to understand what patience looks like. And to wait on his timing. So you pray and you say, Lord, I'm hungry. See, God knows that you ain't gonna die. He knows, because he is the food. He is the food that's gonna knock on your door. He is the timing. He is the feeling of you feeling hungry. He is it. So how do you not feel like God heard you? Why? Because he goes silent? It's a test to show you patience. So now you keep bugging God. You don't have faith. You're losing your faith because he didn't got silent on you. He didn't got, he don't love me. He don't hear me. He love you. He's teaching you something. So since you want to do your timing, so you take your will back and you say, now you already told God, let your will be done. Now you want him to do your will. So you say, okay, God, you ain't hear me. I told you I was hungry and you ain't hear me. I'm hungry. So he said, okay, you want your will. So now instead you getting 20 bags of groceries at your door to fill up your whole refrigerator, he gonna give you a box of chicken to feed you that one day, because he needs you to understand his timing and to be patient. So now you got this box of chicken that's only gonna last you for that day. So now tomorrow, what you got? Now you gotta still learn patience, huh? He not gonna let you die. And even though your mind telling you that you starving, you okay. Take that time to fill your soul up with the word, with God. Go within and pray to him. And even if he don't say nothing, you feel like he's silent, he not around, God is always with you. You got to believe that God is always with you. Even when he sounds silent, he's always with you. Just praise him. Just say, Lord, I know you're not going to let me starve to death. And even if you get me almost to that part where I feel like I'm going to die, you're not going to let me die. And I know you got a reason for why you're doing this. And sometimes it can be just being able to be patient and fill your soul up with God's love, his presence. Go into a worship. Go into a prayer. Just telling him thank you for everything he has done. Gratitude. Gratitude. What about all the things he did for you before that? What if he didn't give you the food? Would you still love him? Would you still love him? Or is it not enough? Is it not enough when you awaken to how God operates and articulates? Is it not enough that he gave you breath? That he did send his son, which is his spirit, into that soul, into that body, to die for you so that you can have this moment in awareness? Is it not enough that you can close your eyes and open them and see light? Or is it not enough that you can hear the sounds? Some of us don't even have that. Is it not enough that you can talk, that you can comprehend, that you can walk? Is it not enough that you're alive? Is it not enough? Is it not? Is it not enough when you did have things? Because the guy's both, right? He allowed it. Is it not enough? Is he not enough? If there was nothing else that he gave you but him, that's it. Is that not enough for you? Why? Why do we chase behind the riches and the goals and all that, and we don't chase them? We don't chase behind God. We doing all these things to be rich millionaires. So why? So people could look up to us and be like, "Ooh, how they got that? Ooh, man, they rich. Ooh, do you not know the sacrifice that some of these people go through? That are celebrities? Let me tell you. Let me give you a little insider. And it's deeper than what I'm telling y'all. I don't want to go too deep. It's so much. Like, it's so much. I can't even express it all, but it's so much. It's so deep. But do you know that some people that are celebrities, even if you go like on YouTube and look it up, there are some celebrities that have exposed this, but it's just like we just look at it and just keep on going, like, like we're not hearing it. It's because we're not aware and we're not taking it serious enough. Some of these celebrities, they get to the top, and there is that evil force, that darkness. There's people that are in high places that serve and that want to serve the darkness. They give them a decision. If you serve God, this is what we're going to do to you. If you serve us, we'll give you all the riches, the fame, and people will bow to you. That right there within itself is trying to show you it's the enemy. Will bow to you, and that's fans. Will idolize you. What I said about adultery. What did I say about adultery? You wanted people to bow down to you, have fans follow you, stalking you, all up in your business, exposing you. Yeah, you're gonna be exposed because that's the way the enemy works. The devil, which again is all a part of one person, God. Because God is trying to show you what dark is, what being in darkness is. You didn't sow your soul to the dark side for riches and fame instead of taking the walk with God. And let's be honest, sometimes that walk with God is sacrificing your life. Because the darkness on this earth has ruled for so long. And the darkness does not want you to soar. But understand that the enemy is already defeated. And no matter what happens to you in this walk, yes, we all have to die. But when you die, where you want your soul to be? You want to stay in darkness. You want to stay in pain, trauma, stay asleep. You want to never experience what love feels like. You want to serve the enemy. You want to continue thinking that you that molester or that rapist or that liar or that thief or that murderer, that manipulator, that con artist. That's who you want to be? Then it's your choice. That's what free will is for. God gives you your own will, but understand that whatever you are here on earth, you're already that in heaven. It's not a thing that you know, I died, then I get you. No, you're being judged now. Who do you want to be? And that is what we're getting to. That is the timing that we're in. Who do you want to be? What side do you want to be in? Because in the Bible, God says you cannot be lukewarm. Yes, we all have darkness in us. And for me, I embrace it all because it's all God. But I know I'm in control. I'm light. I decided to be with God. The light side of God, the good side. I control my darkness. My darkness no longer controls me. My darkness cannot tell me who I am or whatever I've done. Cannot continue to manipulate my mind to tell me that's who I am. I am that God says that I am. I just am. That's why God gave me the name Just. That's why God told me that my soul's name is just. He said, you just are kind, you just are beautiful. He told me my truth, that's who I am, not all of the things that I've done, not all the things that I've thought, not the things that I've been through, and certainly not the way people have treated me. You gotta understand, you're so much more beautiful. It's so amazing. It's so powerful. And brothers and sisters, you can do it. And it's not going to be easy again. But just trust in the Lord. Have faith. Watch all of the stuff that you ever been taught and start fresh. Start with God, the source. God is, has been, and always will be here. Go to the source. Don't go to third parties. We don't want third parties. These third parties, they get all up in your business and they call your phone because they got your number from somebody else, right? They got your number from somebody else because you gave somebody else your number. Then that person gave your number to the third party. We don't want to do the third party because we don't even want the third party giving us a call, right? We ain't even give third party our phone number, but somehow they got our number. Now they advertising on our phone. Now we got to block them, right? Same thing. Block the devil. Block him. Don't go to the third party. Don't go to where pastor said, or mama said, or daddy said, or sister said, or cousin said. Go to God, the source. Give God your number, and you won't have third parties coming and calling you. The only number that'll be calling your phone is God, and you want to answer that call. You want to answer that call because he's not going to harass you. He's going to help you. He's going to guide you. He's going to give you the medicine when you're sick. He's going to give you the knowledge when you don't know. He's going to feed you when you're hungry, and that's spiritually and physically. When your rent due and you don't know where it's going to come from, he going to make it happen. Make sure that your bills are paid and you don't have to ever worry. Go to the source. That is the answer to the question. Why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? God is the answer. There is no other answer other than God, the light, the light side. The enemy is a liar and a manipulator. God is the truth, the way, and the light, And those things that you struggle with, God's going to help deliver you from them piece by piece. Piece by piece. So, sisters and brothers, I know this was a long video, but go to God and stop judging other people. Understand that if you're judging people, talking about people, gossiping, that there's something within you that needs to be healed. And you don't have your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul focused on God. Pray for your sisters and brothers, and don't pray a prayer that you think that you want for their life. That means that you're trying to take God's role and think that you know. And going back to that scenario that I told you in the beginning about, Deborah paying attention to all these men coming up in her house and talking about her. And what if that same woman was a woman who was feeding all of those men on the street? Because maybe her child was homeless, and before she awakened to who she was, her child died. And she said to God, I'll feed every man. I'll let them come into my home if you tell me. And I will feed all of these men to make sure that they're not hungry. So that's why we shouldn't judge. You don't know what's going on with people. You're too focused on other people than to be focused on God and yourself. Get your healing so that you can overstand what's going on in the earth so that you can make it. And the people that have passed away, you have to let go and let God. Allow God to heal that space of your heart, the missing of them, and pray for their spirit. Pray. But what you can do for them that has passed away, that may have to be rebirthed into the earth, you can start healing yourself, and that ultimately helps them, because you was not a healed version of yourself when they were here. So you were not able to help lead them with the awakening of the truth of God, so that they can see a different perspective and possibly make it. But you can help them by doing what you're supposed to do and living your purpose, finding out your purpose in your calling, so that ultimately it can go up to heaven and God can have favor over you and have favor over your loved ones. Stop judging. Pay attention to God. Everything that you need, your healing, your answers, your direction, everything that you need is in God. And understand that God is light and dark. And nothing is something, which is how God was created. God cannot help that darkness had to be created because he was light. But he gave us a tool to beat the darkness, and that was Yeshua, Jesus. I love you, brothers and sisters. I love you so much. My name is Just, and this is Just Talk. I hope y'all just have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye.